Talk to me. Talk to chat about Malfunctionn and Shiina.
Well, you did say Shiina has been playing very well recently, and I have to agree. Recently, Shiina has been playing phenomenally. We do know Shiina tends to make some type of mistakes, blunders sometimes, but in the last few weeks, I didn't really see any mistakes from him. On the other hand, Malfunctionn has also been playing very well. Basically started off towards the bottom of the leaderboard and has been working her way up and up the leaderboard, and we already see she's in 20th place, but she is not even qualified for the EMEA regionals right now, because EMEA is the toughest region out of all the regions. The cutoff is very, very high. See, even with 50% win rate, you're not guaranteed to get in, but anything is possible.
It is incredibly tough, and we get right into it, right into match number 1, game number 1. It is moving. And both these two, I'd say, correct me if you think I'm wrong, are incredibly good when it comes to moving. So we'll see who's going to come up victorious here in the first game.
Yeah, both are very good at moving. Malfunctionn especially very well versed in 5K'ing, which is, you know, an underrated skill in the World League, it has to be said. But Shiina on the other side also knows how to find information, use information. And that's pretty much all you need for this duels format, is finding information and using it.
True. Both players like to take their times and trying to figure out where they are. Malfunctionn didn't need to move too far to get a guess down. We'll see now. I mean, Shiina is effectively on the exact same street. Imagine that we start off the day with a 10K. He has train tracks on the side. We might not see them on screen, but we know what that does for Shiina's guessing. And it does exactly this. As close as can be. 20 damage done here in round number 1.
Yeah, both finding a very small place name there, and given the sparse coverage in that region, they both knew the road. And yeah, pretty easy find. And we go off into what seems like a Germany round, which I quite like to see.
So as the German representative, I feel like it's only fair that you 5K this round. Where are we? Talk to us, Siggy.
I have no idea, you know. Maybe if they have a sign, I can Google it real quick and then act like I knew where it was.
Whoa.
There it is,
Google is
Rostock.
bannable. You can't
Rostock,
Google
very
things.
big town. And
That's where you
instantly
sail.
knows.
That's where you sail from Denmark. I knew that city.
But Shiina also gets to it. Großwokan. Never heard of that. But it has to be somewhere near it.
Yeah. I mean, you got enough time to try and pinpoint it, and it's going to be a bit further down towards the south. But when you have Rostock there, that's all you need to go for. And first, Malfunctionn takes 20 damage, then Shiina takes 21. So if this is the pace of which we're dishing out damage today, then both these guys are going to be set at 5,800 when this round is over.
Yeah, I don't think that will happen because, you know, in some rounds they may not move in the same directions. We just saw that they basically moved in the same direction in both rounds, finding the same type of information. That's kind of interesting to me because it really shows that these players know where to look for info, and is very underrated. But this time we do see Shiina moving in the right direction, and he did spot Brandfilet, which is very big, and he already found it.
Always tricky when you have long straight roads, and right off the bat you can't really see anything in either direction, and then one person goes 2 clicks down one direction, gets crazy info. The other person can go for miles on end without finding anything at all, and it looks like that's Malfunctionn's case right now. You have one sign, but oh, there you go, able to get the same one as well. There's enough info to go by. There are only 10 seconds left to work with.
Yeah, and that could have been way more damage for Shiina if he decided to insta-send after finding information, because right now he's only looking for the 5K. So, but he wants to make sure to make a good guess, but it didn't pay off.
Even more so, he actually ended up losing the round. I think, as you said, I mean, as soon as he saw the sign and had a good inkling of where he was, had he just opted to guess immediately, which, you know, Shiina usually doesn't do, had he opted to guess immediately, Malfunctionn might have been in much more trouble.
Yeah, and now we see an instant zoom in from Malfunctionn, maybe knows the road, because we do see some water on the camera. I imagine it is pretty far south. I quite like Shiina's guess, but they're both in the same region, so we shouldn't see too much damage.
Well, we'll see. Shiina letting the time run out here. Will be the one closer. He was hovering further northwest. I guess as he committed, would have been a bit more damage, but once again, these two players both incredibly close to the target. As we head into the next round, neither of them sat below 5,700 yet.
Yeah, pretty nice switch up off pace there by Malfunctionn, just instantly slamming it down because she knew, okay, I know the road, maybe Shiina doesn't, and there shouldn't be any information available, but Shiina also knew, so... And we do have this very nice pavement, and for any Indonesia enjoyers, that pavement is found near the city of Surabaya. It is pretty reliable, but it can sometimes be found in different cities such as Makassar.
Let's see if Shiina's gonna get it. We are memeing, of course, a bit, but it really was true. I mean, last week I think he had 5 or 6 train track rounds and 5k 3 or 4 of them. So maybe there's a thing to it. Maybe it's gonna help him out as Malfunctionn now gets good info as well. Down towards Surabaya, as you were saying, Siggy. But neither of them really fully commit zooming in here to look for train track specific routes and whatnot. Shiina is looking further towards the west now as well. What is he seeing?
I don't know, maybe he found a name that he thought he has heard of before, but I think he's just staying there because of the pavement. It is just downtown Surabaya, so the meta definitely holds up here.
And he was there initially, that's why you see his reaction going, oh man, come on, I knew better. He was there, second-guessed himself out of the position, and that's something we've seen happen a lot. Not specifically to Shiina, but just in general in these competitive games, is that whenever you think for too long, you start... I mean, sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes it can get you over into the good position too, but sometimes it can definitely get you in trouble as we go to, I believe, Brazil?
Yeah, very nice, Toby. We do see opposite directions, and we have a very good sign for Malfunctionn there. 2 place names, but she is deciding, you know what? It's a roundabout, so every entrance will have a sign. So she will scan every single entrance for town names she might know.
And chat, for those of you guys who don't know that this is Brazil, one of the easy signs that usually works is that on the back of all the street signs, or road signs, it's black. That was what I was mainly guessing off of, and it worked.
And there she found a very good sign. She found a sign for BR262, and she already found it. So...
good stuff.
Should see a very good guess here, but Shiina not too far off without any information given. Not the worst
3.5
guess.
times multipliers. Could hurt if you're off by just a bit.
Oh, very big switch from Shiina. That might be game.
Yep. Could very well be. Almost the 5k on the side of Malfunctionn, and that is, in fact, gonna be game. Shiina was up there, but yet again, back-to-back rounds, second-guessing his position. And that's gonna hurt. Hurt too much for him to reset. So now, 1-0 to Malfunctionn.
Yeah, we did see those last second switches last week as well from Shiina, but it did pay off. We saw that big switch from Australia to Chile in the very last second, and it worked. But this time, big switch from him. I think he would have stayed alive. He would have lost like 3k points maybe. But yeah, last second switch, decided, you know what? I didn't find anything. I'll just go very far south. But he has to reset now. New game, new chances.
And no move, of course, to be mentioned for the viewers that go, why don't they just go down the street? Well, they can't. They are glued on the spot. They can turn, I guess they're glued on one of those gym thingies that you can spin around on, but not really go anywhere. So that's what's happening. They're in location. They can turn around. They can zoom in and out, but nowhere for them to go. What are you thinking here? Are you liking this this mech's guess?
Yeah, I quite like Shiina's guess, and we do see Malfunctionn in a very similar area. But...
ooh.
Cheeky Chiapas round there towards the border to Guatemala. Not easy to get. But, you know, slow start. Don't want to start off with losing 1k points. As we go into this, I feel like it is Netherlands, judging by this sign. Also the architecture.
For a very short moment, I was thinking Denmark, but I was like, nah.
Nah, the houses are too nice.
The font is too big on the 75-meter sign, so...
the houses are too nice. I don't see any bad beers.
Whoa. We haven't even gotten to that ad yet. You can't talk about our beers like that.
Wouldn't call it beer, personally, but...
wow. Siggy, okay, you know what?
He's taking the bait. I'm reeling him in. And wait, we see Shiina in Germany.
I respect the Denmark zoom. Always nice to see Denmark in the text. I'm a little worried for Shiina's guess, though. We'll see if he's going to be right or wrong. Malfunctionn does, in fact, go to her home country, Netherlands.
Whoa, she's going towards the islands.
Maybe she knows. Maybe she knows.
Ooh.
Well, guess she didn't. Shiina off again. I mean, still a little shook up, I feel like, after that Brazil round. Or maybe the one even before that. He's had 4 rounds in a row now where he's been off by a bit.
Yeah, this time definitely some very gettable meta there with the sign. You wouldn't get that in Germany. Well, maybe I'm biased because I definitely know how German signs look like. But he is lucky that he only lost 1,000 points and not more, because Malfunctionn went so far north and it was so far south. But new round. We are in Kazakhstan. We do have to pick up.
I just gotta correct myself real quick. I said the Malfunctionn was from Netherlands. I got baited by the flag. She's definitely from Luxembourg.
Oh no, I didn't even hear that.
She's definitely from Luxembourg. Sorry, Malfunctionn. I hope you didn't realize.
You are lucky that I didn't hear that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
You are very lucky, sir. Anyways, both kind of in the eastern parts here does fit because the only part of Kazakhstan where you get autumn coverage is in the east. Some central areas too, but mostly east.
I'm happy that the entirety of chat can correct me in those sort of things. Chat can then also tell countries not to have flags that look so much alike. That would be really convenient. As we now get in to the end here of round number 3, Malfunctionn off this time around, and Shiina finally, for him, able to capitalize. This is actually the perfect scenario for him. Not only does he finally get a good guess in, but he times it really well with Malfunctionn being off by a bit.
Yeah, as I said, Malfunctionn went east. It was just central. Maybe the hills were a bit of a clue there, because usually the east is pretty flat. As we go into a South Africa round, should be fairly easy, just outside Joburg, I would say. Wouldn't see any guesses too far away from that.
Well, Malfunctionn a bit down towards the south, Shiina a bit further north, but 100 kilometers separating two won't amount to too much, but of course with the multiplier stacking, it's only gonna start hurting more, so a good little swing back for Malfunctionn after that big hit in the previous round.
Yeah, evening the game out a bit as we get around with long dashed lines. Well, the question now is it Norway? Because you do get them from time to time in Slovenia, but I think the vegetation screams Norway to me.
Well, seems like both these players are in agreement. Shiina's a bit further towards the north. Malfunctionn staying down at what I like to call the tiger's head, because it does look like a tiger-ish, I guess, if you think so. As the 2,000 damage does come through, Shiina off by a bit. Again, still, I mean, Shiina usually is very, very calm in his playstyle, but right now there's a lot of, like, physical reaction to whenever rounds don't go his way.
Yeah, because it also has to be mentioned, he's on 13th place right now, and to qualify for the World Cup, you have to be on the top 12. So he's right outside that qualification zone. And going into the majors, you don't want to have too much pressure that you have to get points by getting second or third place. So any win would be good for him, so maybe that's why he's a bit, you know, bit nervous here, especially after the game 1. But we have the rock walls, pretty easy Connecticut, Massachusetts area.
It's right in the middle.
It ends up being Rhode Island.
There you go, right on the border. But Malfunctionn closer once again. It's kind of sad. I cannot think of Massachusetts without thinking of the Ylvis song, which is also a really good song, by the way. If you haven't heard it, go over give it a listen. It's fun. It's a good time. As we get in to round number 7, Malfunctionn able to regain the lead here. Shiina playing with his back against the wall.
Yeah, we do have these signs, which should be found in Hamilton in New Zealand. Obviously, very niche knowledge there. We do see a capital name and then a very small street, ST, in the bottom right. That's usually found in Hamilton and surrounding cities. We do see Shiina very close to Hamilton, so that would be a very good guess. This is not Christchurch signs. Even though the city is flat, we could see the game here.
Would definitely be for Shiina. That would be huge.
Very,
gets the guess
very
in. Malfunctionn is still hovering. Has 10 seconds to second guess herself, but right now it seems like she's confidently looking in this city. 3, 2, zooms out, and the very end of it, no change come through, and finally, Shiina able to capitalize, and that will most definitely be game here, as we're taken into an NPC.
And that's why you learn New Zealand signs, ladies and gentlemen. It is very niche, but it can be very helpful, especially because urban New Zealand is not region guessable, because it all has been settled at the same time, so there's not really a difference in architecture anywhere.
Tough one from Malfunctionn. It was starting to look really good, and that no movement would have definitely wanted the 3 points, but now only the 2 is going to be available. So we'll see here, still image.
Ooh.
Trying to change up the pace now. I like this from Malfunctionn. Let's see if she gets close. I thought Shiina for a second was going to go Denmark. I was like, bro, that's a mountain. We don't have those.
Yeah, not Denmark. It's either Sweden or Norway. It's one of the two. Might be on the border even.
There you go. Into Norway we go. I like that Malfunctionn changing up the pace here. Of course, Shiina, a player that likes to take his time. And they have both been, I mean, for the most part, taking their time in this matchup so far. So smart on her to try and catch him a bit off guard.
Yeah. And wow, she is just slamming it down here. It seems like Germany or Austria to me.
What makes you go there?
The road.
The road lines? Like the white very...
No, just no road lines at all. You get that a lot in German roads.
Fair enough. Well, I guess you're right. All the way down towards the Austrian border is where we were. But again, smart on Malfunctionn to try and change the pace here.
And now they will take a bit more time because we are in Brazil, and Brazil is a massive country. But we do see them both in Maranhão so far. Not sure what they see, but it definitely worked, and what a guess.
Incredible guess comes through as the scores get almost even up now with Malfunctionn. A bit in the lead, but keep in mind, I mean, NMPC can really be games where when you get limited to no info, you get people on various continents even. As Shiina goes Nigeria, Malfunctionn immediately there to follow. The usual Abuja-Lagos split. We'll see who's gonna come out victorious here.
Yeah, interesting landscape here. Definitely feels a bit more eastern or northern. So I quite like Abuja as a guess.
So Malfunctionn is gonna readjust as well. It was.
Or not.
A little bit further towards the west.
That is big points.
Yep, definitely is. Malfunctionn, Multiply is only gonna make it harder as we move into round number 5. Oh, Shiina. He lost in this country, his home country, because it's not Netherlands or Luxembourg. It is, in fact, Japan. He lost here last time we saw him play. Let's see if we can get it this time around.
And for some reason, they're both in the same prefecture, and they're both right. I have no idea how they did that, but yeah,
that's why they play and recast. That's because they can do stuff like that.
Anyone saying Ziggy for World League, I would not get that and will just lose on the spot. And we are back in New Zealand. And this seems like Northland.
Let's see. Malfunctionn. It's going to go towards Mount Richmond Forest Park. A little further south, potentially thereof.
Ooh, she's thinking
about
something? St. Arnold. Oh. I didn't think there. I mean, there are some weird parts in that area, so it's a valid guess. But Shiina. I was thinking Northland, so north of Auckland even.
Shiina is down here as well. Now looking towards Auckland. Zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. Not quite sure. Wants to commit towards the coast. Goes up a bit by the second, but it was all the way up there. That could have been huge. That could have been game for either one of them as the laugh emotes come through. The rare no waving emote, but there we have it. Both realizing, oh wow, that was off by quite a margin.
Yeah, I mean, not an easy round, because usually if you're seeing green hills, you usually just go that area. But I have no time to talk about this because we see Shiina zooming into Ukraine for Romania. It should be Romania. And both of them going east because it's dry.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Already guessing in on the north side of Constantino. Let's see if who's going to be closer. Oh, wow! Wait, what made sense? Can you elaborate on that, please? Again?
Never mind, skies are trash. Who would go east there just because it's dry? That's
obviously go west, bro. Obviously go west. It's obviously west.
Would have 5K'd that one real quick.
I love how you've had one round now where you're way off. Then you have one round where you best both of them, and then you're off again. It's we jump back and forth, so now you're gonna be on point. What are we seeing here, Ziggy?
We do see a Philippines round, and region guessing Philippines is impossible. We do see a banana plant, which is more common in the middle. But the rest looks northern, because it's very dry. So, Shiina's guess is valid as well.
Let's see who's gonna be on point. Well, it's gonna be middle. And that could very well be game. It will, in fact, be. And there you have it, Malfunctionn out victorious against a Shiina who I feel like got a little spooked, maybe, in the moving game and in the first round of no move, and he never really was able to regain his footing properly.